Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Angry Ghost Hunter right here on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Yes, this is a lead into the big show tonight as the final Wednesday of every month. We tune in and bring in some of the best ghost hunters from around North America and the world to take us on an adventure of all things paranormal. Tonight, as per usual, we are joined by the angriest ghost hunter of them all, Ross Allison, who's packing a very, very nice beard tonight. We have Jacob Rice. We have MERLE. Yes, MERLE. And our special guest tonight, Robb Demarest. Everyone, welcome to the Angry Ghost Hunter. It's good to see you all. And, of course, Ross, this being your big show, we always love it when you are here, my friend.
Well, I'm always glad to be here. You never know with my schedule. It keeps getting crazier and crazier, but things are starting to pick up. I'll be leaving for Europe in a week, so I'm excited about that. Got a gig out there and be doing some filming out there, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Very nice. Very nice. You've been all over the eastern United States talking about ghosts and sharing your examples. You're working on a documentary. Where do you find time right now, man?
Oh my God, it's hard. It's hard. To be honest with you, I'm already behind in my books. David Weatherly is going to be smacking me around for a little bit because I'm still so far behind because I got so many other things that I've been working on. And right now, the launch of Parasense has been a big thing on our list. We got a couple theaters that are getting ready to premiere it, so we're excited about that. So our launch date is March 25th.
And we definitely got to get you back on the air for that, my friend.
Definitely.
Need to get you back on the air. MERLE, how you doing, buddy?
Doing very well. Looking forward to the show tonight. I think it's going to get angry. We'll see who gets the angriest.
I don't know. Robb was on our case. He was like, "You guys are not angry enough for me, so we may have to bring it out."
He was already insulting my boo before we even got on.
Not Jacob Rice's boo buddy. Not Jacob Rice's boo buddy. MERLE, the hair is looking high and tight tonight.
Very much a haircut. It's a little long.
I don't know what that chin hair is, but we'll forgive that for tonight. Jacob Rice, it's always a good pleasure to have you here, buddy, and thank you so much for joining us once again.
Good to be here. Very good to be here. I can't wait to get pissy and angry.
All right. Well, let's get pissy and angry right off the bat. Ross, why don't you introduce your good friend to your left here in Robb Demarest?
Well, Robb, actually, I actually, out of all these years of being in the field, I recently got introduced to him, and we really hit it off. He's a great guy. I love his sense of humor, and I enjoyed what he had to say. I think we all kind of share the same sense of what's going on in the field of paranormal research, and I felt he's got some important things to say and thought this guy's going to be great on the Angry Ghost Hunter show. So, Robb, what's going on with you?
Yeah, definitely when we met, I was trying to think about ghosts, but I got lost in your eyes. So
Robb has
I'll take it. That's great.
Is there a bromance going on here? What's going on?
There's a hardcore bromance. What's going on with me is working on cold spotters, which is something you guys touched on before. It is a large network, because one of the things that we want to be able to share is information, data. We don't know what ghosts are, so let's figure it out. Like when an EVP happens, does something else change? Is there more oxygen? Is there more CO2? Is there more heat? So that's something we've definitely been working on.
Well, that was one of my pet peeves, and especially with watching a lot of the shows, is like they'll pull out the EMF detector and they're just holding that EMF detector and it's going off, and that's it for them. That's proof that there's a ghost in front of me. And I've trained my team. It's just like, if something is going odd with the EMF detector, get in there with other equipment, get other readings, see if you can show that there is something else happening with the environment. You can't just use an EMF detector and say, this is a ghost. Let's run with this.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would I mean like we hear about EMF all the time and we say, well, if the EMF runs high, there's a ghost there. Says who?
Yeah.
Who proved that?
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is
The
something
pretty
that
lights prove it, just so you know. The pretty
yeah,
lights.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I've been working on equipment to it measures every 0.5 seconds pretty much anything you can imagine. And then it saves it to a SD card. You put the SD card in your computer and you say, when did something strange happen? Is there, a connection between what happened and EMF or CO2 or you name it? So that's kind of been my mission. Also, um, headstands, which have not worked out so far, but you give it time. You got to give it time.
Because if all that blood rushes to your head, you're definitely going to be seeing ghosts, right?
Absolutely.
You're gonna find Jesus. Yep.
Mm.
Well, I guess one of the questions I have is obviously you were on a show for some time.
Ghost Hunters International.
What was that experience like, even with your mindset today? Do you regret it? Do you what's
I
Robb
don't.
from Ghost Hunters International to Robb today?
Look, if you want to if you say I want to go out and make a TV show, be prepared to make some exceptions. Now, where I draw the line is evidence, quote evidence. We can all decide what is and what isn't evidence, but that's where I draw the line. You're not going to tell me, well, you have to go out and say that that voice that was a producer was a ghost. Never did it on GHI, would never do it.
Mm-hmm.
But there are going to be scenes that are, if you're doing a tour that you do 3 times. I mean, we used to shoot from at times noon till 7 a.m. And so you get burnt out. I've kind of transitioned more. I'm looking at UFOs, I'm looking at cryptids. It doesn't mean that I've given up on spirits. It means that I've kind of tried to expand.
That's cool.
Okay, I got a follow-up question on that one, Robb. And so let's just be real here.
Yep.
And you can look at your time in the past and then shows nowadays. How much of it is the edit and how much of it is collected, like the evidence collected in the moment? Because we know about the Frankenbites. We know editors and
Sure.
story producers have a lot of power here.
Oh yeah.
How much of it is turning the knobs behind the scenes?
On GHI, almost none.
Okay.
I am watching some of these shows nowadays. I rarely watch these ghost shows. They don't need to Frankenbite. They don't need to cut anything because the people involved are cheating anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like the
You
cast
know, I'm-
themselves, the cast themselves.
Yeah, so I say, look, Jake, you want to be on TV? And you go, yeah, but do I have to fake anything? I say, yes, but I'm going to give you 10,000 a week.
You know, the money is good. That's good.
Oh,
So
no. I didn't make that kind of money.
no.
I'm saying that some people I know make 10 times that
Okay.
a week.
And here's the reason why I bring this up is I'm a big podcast listener and I listen to Haunted Road by Amy Bruni. So, you know,
Mhm.
say what you will about kindred spirits. I know she was part of the original Ghost Hunters and everything, but I religiously listen to her podcasts. I love paranormal podcasts. And in her series, she debunks a lot. Like today, the Queen Mary episode hit, and she threw out so much of the evidence and the alleged ghosts at the Queen Mary. And the week before, she did it for, I forgot if it was Sheboygan, and she also did it for Men Raise the Castle. She threw out a lot of the stories. Like she was legit debunking in her podcast. Though when I watch Kindred Spirits, I'm kind of like, really? You're considering that evidence? So it's kind of weird. You get this polarity between off camera and on camera, I guess is
Well,
the
it's all
point
about
I'm
our
making.
freedom. You know, when
Yeah.
you're under contract, you have to do what they say. You are a puppet on their strings.
Mhm.
So obviously with her podcast, she has more freedom to be, you know, who she wants to be.
Mhm.
On
I'm
TV,
gonna
they're
play
playing
devil's advocate
characters.
here for a second. I'm going to play devil's advocate here for
Yeah,
a
yeah.
second because you already all know that I pretty much hate the paranormal. So that's not much that we can do. And it's not the subject at hand. It's more so the people and the teams that are involved. And but I'm going to throw something at you here. All right. This was a real fringe society before television came along almost 20 years ago. All right. There were very few people doing it. There were very few people who even knew it existed. I can tell you right now, I had no idea. All right. So I understand the dislike for the television shows, but without the television shows, would we have the expansiveness and the knowledge that we have today from so many smart people who have come into this field because of their interest in television? I mean, Rob, I remember watching you on Ghost Hunters International, and I thought it was absolutely wonderful to see a fellow Canadian, doing this on television. I had no clue, no
Uh,
clue whatsoever.
Yeah, number one, importantly, I'm from New York. I'm not from
Oh,
Canada.
sorry, I thought you were from Canada. Well, you've spent time up here, so you're one
He's
of us.
dating Canadian. He dates
adopted.
Canadian.
I'm adopted Canadian.
But
My
when you guys,
fiance is Canadian.
but let me say this: when you
Yeah,
guys went to Hell's Gate,
I
that
wasn't
hit,
there.
okay, but the team went to Hell's Gate. That hit home for me because I've driven by there so many times. No clue that it was haunted. I learned something. So the point that I'm getting at with all of this is this. I mean, we could sit here and hate on television and the television shows, and I agree with you on that. Okay. But do they not get a little bit of holdback on that, considering what they've done to advance the field?
No.
Well, it's a little bit of give and take, to be honest. You know, I was doing, you know, appearances on, you know, documentaries before the television shows were coming out. You know, I remember A&E interviewed me for a show they wanted to do before Ghost Hunters aired. So, yes, it's opened a lot of doors for us, but it's also closed a lot as well. You know, the fact of the matter that, you know, there's this popularity of ghost hunting, because back when I was ghost hunting in the early days, you didn't tell people you were a ghost hunter because most people would just shun you. You'd be alone at the party. You know, now you tell people you're a ghost hunter and you're a rock star.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really
Yeah,
changed that.
that's not really true. You're still alone at the party, but that's not the point.
I was gonna say
So
you're hanging out with the freaks at the party.
There you go.
you're still in the dork corner, but that's okay. No, I would say that the greatest advance that paranormal TV has brought out is that it's now okay to discuss the subject.
I agree.
Mhm.
Has our knowledge base gained immensely? No.
No.
No, not at all. And the reason is because, and I watched, like I said before we started, I watched a number of your episodes. Most of the stuff that is being used for equipment, and when I say most, I mean almost everything, is garbage. It's junk.
What are your top
Everyone,
three pieces?
say again.
What are your top 3 pieces? I know Dave doesn't like these questions, but I'm just curious, in your opinion, what are your top 3? If you're to tell somebody who's new in the field, hey Rob, I'm new. What
Gearhead.
should I do?
What would
Gearhead.
I say to avoid, or what would I say this is what you need?
How would you set a person up for success?
I would say start, and I heard you guys say this a number of times. I couldn't agree more. Don't break the bank. You don't need to. Nowadays your phone does half the stuff that this equipment does. You want to take pictures, great. You want to do audio recordings, fantastic. It's all on your phone. You already have it. As far as what's garbage, almost everything else.
You mean I can't use the apps on my phone too?
No, Ross, I told you to delete them. Every month I tell you to delete them.
I just did my big blowout sale on ghost equipment. I'm like, take this crap away, buy it, people, and people bought it. No offense
Well,
to you people out
I
there.
watched an episode where you were talking about a certain device. We're not going to go backwards in time and talk about it, but it's junk.
You must be
It's
talking about the Ovilus.
useless. The Ovilus?
Okay, it was a different one.
I do
The list
not
goes
know.
on. Come on.
I got a big
We
old
only
list.
got an hour, you guys. Come on.
No. Okay, here's simple. Aim 2 ovuluses at the same spot.
Mhm.
If they're measuring, if they say the same word over and over, they're measuring the same things. Guess what?
No.
That never happens.
Never.
They're random word generators.
Mhm.
I'm sorry that you went out and spent $300 on a Gen 1. Sorry.
Well, I
Like-
say the same thing about the ghost boxes that everybody's all crazy about. I taught a class and I recorded 3 hours of a ghost box session, played it to the students and told them it was live. And they still were able to get answers from their questions off of something that was pre-recorded. That right there proves that it doesn't work.
Well, here's the thing is, do you want to use a device that is made to give you false positives?
Mhm.
The biggest problem I have, and I hate to keep going back to, paranormal television, but here's the biggest problem. We watch these shows and things are supposed to start happening in 30 seconds of the show. The ghost box is saying, how many of you are here? 7. Well, of course, somebody was saying 107.5.
Mhm.
Especially,
Come on.
when it's only a quarter of a second per channel. I mean,
Yep.
come on.
I did, and I'll issue the same challenge out now. Take your quote ghost box. I still refer to it with respect to Frank Sumption. You take your Frank's box, you can name it whatever you want because you just changed it barely. Put it in your microwave. and I always stress this, don't turn your microwave on. Do not microwave it. And now record it because you just put it in a Faraday cage. People have said to me, well, it couldn't have been a radio channel because I took the antenna off. Yes, it could.
The receiver's inside.
Of course there are. And
Mhm.
it's nonsense. And so here's why I said.
Well, I still think turning the microwave on helps.
There's no other point to a ghost box than to microwave it. Sorry.
So I will say, when it comes to recording the sessions, this is not a plug, but I do. If you're gonna do it, there is a product made by a large manufacturer, the S Box, that allows you to record the radio. So, and it's built into it. So do that, ask your questions, and play it back. It's still shit, but at least it's recording the stuff that is coming through the radio. Okay, back to you.
Now we need to fight a little bit here.
Okay, let's fight.
I personally use the Panasonic RRDR60.
No shit, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
it's known for the two big faults with picking up RF, so radio frequencies, and also an echo
It doesn't-
playback effect in it.
It doesn't pick up radio frequencies.
Because
That's not true.
Panasonic said it took it away, stopped making it because it captures yourself echoing in it. in the design.
Are you sure that's
Panasonic
what Panasonic said?
Panasonic has said that. You can go out and look. It was a defect in the design.
Originally, Panasonic said it was being returned too often. So they may
Because
have
of
come
the
up with a
echo.
rationale, but that's
Okay.
not what they originally said.
So are you saying it just picked up ghosts everywhere?
What does it pick up?
An echo. When you speak, the design of the case created an echo effect on the recording.
No, not accurate. I'll give you an example. I created a soundproof box, and I'm not saying it was perfect. It wasn't, I'm not a scientist. I'm Peter Venkman. So I guess and I was in a cemetery that is notoriously haunted, and I walked 100 yards away from the thing. And you go back and you can hear things that, in this case, it was saying like, where am I? Can someone help? Not the kind of things you would expect. So I have no problem with people saying, look, if I say that the spinning radios are nonsense, I have to be willing to take flack for saying I support the DR60. Also, if any of you would want to buy one, 3,000.
Oh crap!
No.
Have you
That's
seen that stuff
without
on
shipping.
That's with eBay. I cannot believe that.
So
At least you can get like the
2,500 now.
yeah, like
Wow.
the
Yeah.
next model that came out or its successor model or something. Is
QR8.
going for like a third the cost of that.
And which is complete nonsense, because if you're going to do that, and you want to capture EVPs, get a IB7, the Sony IB7,
Okay.
which will eBay you could maybe $5.
Okay.
It's
We'll go
better
check
than
that
the
out.
QR80. The QR80 is a piece of junk, in my opinion.
I'm not familiar with this gadget, but I will go check out this. You said IB7, was it?
Yeah, Sony IB7.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
Well,
We
no,
haven't heard-
there are so many listeners tonight. By the time you go check it out, they're gone.
They're all gone.
That's true.
There's
You
none on
snooze,
Earth.
you lose, buddy.
You said $5, it's gone. Everyone's at Goodwill. Can I see your
Of course.
electronics department? Can I see your
Of
electronics
course.
shoebox, Goodwill?
Yeah, so I mean, I think you start very simple. And one thing that I admit I've been lax about, that you should be bringing on an investigation, is a notebook and a pen. Record when things happened,
Yeah,
when you
investigation.
thought something happened.
Ross, this is your bit.
Oh, I know. I was just gonna say that's why I wrote the book, My Haunted Journal, which was so important about journaling. My team journals throughout the whole investigation.
And
I
it's
have them journal.
annoying. It's such a
But
pain in the
it
tooth.
makes us accountable for the whole investigation. We've been able to debunk so many things by just doing time calls. We can find out what's going on with the team upstairs from the team going downstairs. Journaling is so important, and it doesn't have to be a novel. It can just be a line. Even when they walk into a room, I want what time you walked into the room. I want what time you walked out of that room, even if it's a minute difference.
Yeah.
All
Did you
those
hear
details
something?
are important, right? If you hear,
I heard
if
something
you
at
make a noise,
8:17.
write it down.
Right. I mean, here's my biggest point that I like to make now, just to annoy everyone in the field. If you go on Facebook, they sit there and they say, you know why no one takes us seriously? Because of paradrama.
That's the perfect accent of those people too.
What? That's why no one takes us seriously?
It's
No
the
one takes us
paradrama.
seriously because we're using garbage. We're spinning radio dials like your mom's car stereo.
I like
But
to
there's
say,
a lot, and it's not only that though. We also have to put it out that there's a lot of people, YouTube channels that fake this stuff.
yeah,
For viewership, for subscribers,
It's
they'll
worth
purposely
money.
fake a lot of stuff, right?
yeah. I'm just like, I'm ghost hunting. I'm going to go to Home Depot and check out the home and garden aisle and see what I get. There you go. That's our ghost hunting equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Instant gratification ghost hunting blows my mind.
What the?
That's a
You guys
ghost,
see
bro.
that? There's a mug.
That's real.
Oh, damn it. I shouldn't have had my hand with it.
You should have green screened that bitch. Let me tell you. Put on
Oh,
the green.
Oh, come
There
on,
goes
Rob. You
my
could have done
payday.
better. You should have just said, hey, did you hear that? Oh my God.
That's true.
Ross, who's behind you?
You know,
My arm has
was-
gone cold. Someone's here. I've got a
here's
Ouija board in
something
my
that
room.
I would like you guys to think about. And I did tell my fiance Amanda that I wouldn't try and like talk, but I can't help it. Here's something I would ask you to think about when you watch these shows. The new shows, do they use things that you can watch and rewatch and examine?
Mm-mm.
Or do they use things that there's no way, like you said, my arm's cold. You can't
Mhm.
prove that one way or another. I saw it, but it was just out of camera view.
Thank you very much for saying that. This is the thing that just pissed me off to no end. Jake's getting angry. And that is, it's all about let me see someone's reaction instead of pointing the freaking camera down the hall where the
Mhm.
shadow figure. Come on, people. There are 5 cameras. You don't have to have everything pointed at some dipshit's face.
Influencer.
Point
And-
it
and
down
let me point
the
out-
damn hall.
And let me point out, one of the things that my team does, and Jake can validate this, is everybody wears a body cam.
Yeah.
Genius.
So
We've
that
all got
if
body
they
cams.
are having an experience, hopefully, even if their hand is pointed with the camera the wrong way, their body cam is still pointing in the right direction.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that is
well,
so
I mean, I
important.
don't know what you mean by the right direction because I always wear mine backwards just so I can see the squeeze in my chest.
No, you like the
You
live
like that
cam?
cleavage, right?
Oh, Cash
You know?
App, Cash App. That's right, buddy.
OnlyFans, like, making money. But
Is
no,
it getting
absolutely.
moist yet? Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And one of the things that actually I would also say that I disagree with some of you gentlemen with.
Oh, bring it.
Oh yeah, no, I'll bring it. Is that night vision cameras? You get these photos because you know, I was looking at Dave's photo that he had received from the stairs.
Mr. Scott here. Mr.
Yes.
Scott.
Yes.
So
Okay.
everyone said, well, you know, who knows? You can't get good quality with a night vision camera.
Yeah,
That's not true. That's just not true. Like you can get depending on how much you want to spend and how serious you are about this, you can get a really good, expensive night vision camera that will look amazing. You will never mistake anything. And you know, as long as I'm starting fights, you know, we're gonna go after Ross next.
Uh-oh.
So,
He's got a list.
Uh-oh.
You know
it's
he's the Pope of ghost hunting in the Pacific Northwest, right? Are we
the
gonna get some
30
heresy?
years
We're gonna get some
versus 30
sacrilege?
years. So my thing that I have an issue with is that we should bring this to people. You always have to bring out your evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob,
What you
let me
didn't explain is to whom. Because if you put it on Facebook, the better the evidence is, no matter how real it is, everyone's going to say you're a fake. Why?
Of
Because
course.
they didn't get that evidence.
Okay. So I'm going to push back here.
Okay.
Here.
I wanted to push back first.
You go for it. You go for it first, Mr. Dave.
I thought he was coming after me. Come on. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want
Jake's
to hear what you
next.
say.
Dave,
Rob,
go for it.
I have the same question for people in the cryptid world and the UFO world, and that is, what is proof? Because your proof is different than my proof, is different than Ross's, Merle's, Jacob's, or anybody listening to this.
Sure.
So, I mean, that is, to me, in this field, like you just said, proof is so subjective, because the minute you release something, you're a faker, you're a liar, you CGI'd it, you put on a costume, you set up a dummy on a stairwell, to make it look like there's somebody there. I mean, what really is proof?
Well, that's the biggest problem we have in this field, is we don't hold ourselves accountable, and we're not challenging ourselves as paranormal investigators. Most of the community, as we've said, are lazy ghost hunters. They're looking for the instant gratification. They don't want to do the work because they're learning what their skills are from television shows. That's the best that they can do. And there's not enough of us out there that are really applying ourselves in this field, that are challenging ourselves, that are applying critical thinking, that are applying common sense and saying, hey, this is the way we should be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
TV is entertainment. People tend to forget that.
Mm-hmm.
And
not always, though. That one, now you're struck a chord. We're supposed to be angry around here.
Yeah, dude,
No, it's
Ghost
fine.
Adventures.
No comment.
Most shows are trying
no comment. Are you
a
trying
lot
to
of
get
these
cast
people-
on another series? Come on. Okay, go,
But
Ross.
the fact of the matter is, a lot of people are trying to be the
Zach's
next.
gonna hire me.
Oh, I was going to say, a lot of people are trying to be the next Zach Bagans. That's
Not
the
gonna
problem.
Mm-hmm.
Not we are on the fade out right now. A lot of
Like
people,
legit. You're talking legit, not carnival showman, ringleader. You're talking
Right.
legit. Okay.
Right. Like so if you know someone, and Ross, I'm not coming at you like that, really. Like, if you say, I know someone who's a photographer, I'm going to send him this picture and see what he can do with it. That's good. But if you bring it to GTZ me whatever team, if it's better than anything they have, they're gonna be like, that's not real. No,
Okay.
real.
So let me chime in here. So on my former site, Ghostly Activities, when I did with a ghost or with my team in Chicago, any ghost hunt, I had the unaltered clips of all of our evidence. And of course, because it's the web and we're talking YouTube, I would frame, the very short, up to 3-minute video. But I made available the actual files. You could check the metadata to see if it was altered or not. I was never asked for the original files. They only wanted the sizzle. I'm like, dude, if you're gonna hate on me and debunk, here's the whole freaking thing. You can put it into Adobe or Final Cut or whatever you're using and see every single time code, stamp, whatever you want to see. No one ever wanted it.
No, why?
No.
Because it's easier to just say, nah, Jake's a fake.
Yeah.
His team fakes everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Because
jealousy. That's
it's
all it
supposed
is.
to make your team look better.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And because the other thing is, no one wants to go on YouTube and watch my 3-hour clip in a dark room with a little light that goes blink. Like
mine is scary as heck. It's not 3 hours, it's about 72. But woo, you will be scared. I would say the other thing I put out there that people hate to hear, half the people that you see on these programs never ghost hunted before. And you guys touched on this on an earlier episode, that I get people all the time saying, I've been ghost hunting 45 years. I never got a show. because they don't care about that. Nobody
Yeah.
asked about that.
Mhm.
A lot of these people, have never ghost hunted in their lives.
Okay.
You know,
Auditions.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
look, we're
casting
not gonna
calls.
we're
It's
not
all
gonna
casting calls.
say, yeah, we're not gonna say, you know, there's a quote ghost hunter from Girls Gone Wild. Like, we're
But
not
that
gonna
could be
call
fun.
names out.
There is.
No, that's actually no, that's a true story.
I'd believe it. I'd believe it.
Yeah,
It is TV.
There were
you know,
porn stars. Now, well, the one porn star's got her own show now. What are we
Yep.
talking
But
about? Come
Stormy,
on.
doesn't Stormy have a show coming out?
she's
Yes.
trying to get a show. She and I got into it because I was like, you Demi Lovato has a UFO show.
That's right.
Kesha?
She does. Yeah, Kesha's got one coming out
Mhm.
this summer, I think.
Yeah,
She's not a
Kesha's
porn
so-
star, people. She's a pop star, kind of.
So yeah, so I figured, well, why not flip the script, you know, and go into adult entertainment? And they're like, nope, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that hurt. that wasn't fun. But yeah,
Well,
I
maybe
mean,
20 years earlier.
yeah, maybe. Even
So-
that would be a stretch.
So with the casting thing, I will say I did with Ghostly, I did get hit up by casting directors
Sure.
to post their cattle calls. And there's 3 of them that I remember vividly and the shows that they became. One was it was like 911, the first responders.
Yep.
That's kind of like a haunting, my haunted house kind of thing. It's recreation
that's,
stuff.
I know who makes that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one turned out to be Ghost Loop. And the one at which was obviously they didn't necessarily care about if you had a paranormal background or not.
I said I wasn't gonna call out any shows.
Call it up. That's what we're here for. We drop names. You won't believe the hate I give the Dead Files.
Yeah. Oh no, don't get me going on that either.
You can. You're supposed to be angry.
That's the
Rob.
one I was cut from because I wouldn't lie about my experiences.
The other one was Ghost Hunters A&E, just so you know.
Man, again, I got no comment on that one too. But I was, you know, I've been lucky enough because I've been in that world, you know.
How was your casting process, Rob? Come on, let's go there.
Oh no, I'll tell you. The company I worked for was going to do a show for Showtime.
Mhm.
And it was going to be like kind of a adult version of Ghost Hunters, like where you could swear and
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
so nobody really bit. So they went to my team. It wasn't my team. I was co-leader of the team at the time. And she said, "Can I send your bio in?" I said, yeah, I don't care. They're not going to pick us anyway. And 2 years went by, and I received a phone call from Los Angeles, and they said, "You want to lead a ghost show?" So I never in my life applied to be on a ghost show.
But it was
I was
agents.
asked.
It was and it was like an agent that did this, right?
No, it was a production company.
Okay.
You know, so they reached out to me, and I actually turned them down. And they said, "Well, you're not going to get the show. We just need one more tape to send in." So I sent my tape in, and they said, "If you don't hear from us by Friday, you didn't get it." Friday comes and goes. Tuesday, they called me up and said, "Pack your bags. We need you to leave for England or Italy, whatever it was, on Thursday."
Did you sign the contract like for holding you for a year and all that stuff, or was that handled through the production
I
company
hate
already?
that. Oh my god. I hate
Yeah,
that.
because they usually lock you down for a year. Has it been over
Okay,
5
this
years?
one-
If it's over
this
5
one
to 7
legally-
years, you can talk.
Well, no, what I can tell you is that since GHI, I have done 7 shows.
Oh, I have to check out your IMDb.
Yeah, no, it's got me on Ghost Hunters Academy, which I never appeared on. I did a show called Haunting Australia that I created and produced.
Yeah, it was
I
2
did a
seasons or
show-
something, right?
Uh,
It was like 2 or 3 seasons, wasn't Australia?
I wish
It
it
was just
should
one?
have been. It's a long story, but it was one season. I mean, I did a show for Telemundo, and so here I am saying, "Donde está el espíritu?" And the spirit said, the producer comes over and says, "Can you not do that anymore?"
They were like, "It's okay to speak English. It's okay, gringo,
We'll
speak
put
English."
subtitles. Like, this is awful. I was like, I speak a few words, but yeah. So I've done.
And that's why
shows
you didn't get
since
your porn
then.
career.
Well, that's a whole different story. There was another show for I don't know if it was Telemundo, but and I you know who I wanted as a host? Eric Estrada. Why not?
No?
No, not he doesn't ghost hunt. He just like opens the episode.
Oh,
right?
he's like the guy from Haunted Live.
It's like Linda Blair when she did all those those terrified in most terrifying in America shows.
And everyone says, "Oh my god, that is my favorite show."
Yeah, I was on a couple of those shows.
See, it's like MTV's Fear. Remember that show?
I actually like that point of view. That was freaking amazing to see everyone with the camera pointed at their face and everyone as they're going through Allegheny.
Well, they did that with Celebrity Ghost Hunt too.
Yeah. That was fun to watch. That was fun to watch.
Now, I was told that show, because I know some people who were on it, that show was not staged.
Yeah.
Which one are we talking about? Celebrity Paranormal?
Celebrity.
Yeah.
However, oh man, don't get me sued, guys.
Don't say X, Y, and Z.
Well, no. I
Spit
feel
it
like
out.
Bill
Spit it out.
Cosby right now. Pudding pops. That it was not frowned upon to have a little fun before the show began. What are you talking about? Jake, you might need some.
Are we playing
nasal
charades?
decongestant.
Is this charades? I'm good at this. Come on, let's go.
I'm just saying it's important to put people into a zone when they're to perform.
Contact their higher self, their spirit.
Well,
guide.
that was
yes.
David.
Well, there was a group
Carradine.
out there that actually believed that getting high and drunk before the investigation made their investigation so much better, and they had.
I know a guy
absolute
who
Yep.
tried to sell that show. You can't do that. No, I'm not kidding.
No,
I know the guy.
Probably talking
He's a
about the
buddy
same
of
people.
mine. They probably are. But the problem was you can't take mushrooms before an investigation on camera.
On camera, yeah. Don't.
Well, I mean, which one was I not on them off camera? But yeah, anyway, that's a whole nother story. But no, I mean, like when I did a guest episode of Destination Truth.
Okay.
And the gentleman stirred this thing and he said, if you want to see this monster, take a sip of this.
I love the Cornholio accent.
Oh, that's the best I got. Everybody, like, you can be Australian, Irish. You're gonna sound the same.
No, I was gonna say, and they all sound the same.
Yeah.
Do your best Canadian.
That's what I'm all about. I never leave the house. So he said, take a sip. And I was like, why not? If that's the way we find this thing. And Josh Gates is like, kill that idea. That's not going to happen. So look, I think you have to be upfront. If someone says to you, we want you on our show, you say to them, it's fine. I can do retakes. I can do whatever you need. I just don't fake evidence. And 90% are going to say, pleasure to meet you. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
But at least you're going to be, my dad said to me, because I was complaining. I said, oh man, I don't have any money. And he said, well, you wish you had like faked it? I said, no, I never fake it. And he said, then shut up.
I like your
Like,
dad.
Like your
there
dad.
you go. Like the
So-
end.
So why did you leave the show?
I did not leave the show. I was taken off the show.
Oh, I thought it got cut. You were like seasons 2 through, what was it? It was 4 seasons was Ghost GHI? What was
No,
it?
it made it to the beginning of season 3. I made it almost to the end of season 2. I was asked, well, I wasn't asked. Man, you're getting me in legal spot here. I was told that I was going to come back. But by that point the show had been canceled.
Okay. Which is
And-
kind
and-
of, because
well-
I checked the ratings for it and it was doing just fine over its run. I mean, it wasn't
I'm
like
gonna-
Ghost Hunters proper, but it was still pretty rock solid for cable
Oh
TV.
no, we beat them. It did not make Hawes happy. We got
Oh.
2.8 million viewers for Argentina.
Hmm.
And then they beat us after when they came back. But you know what, look, here's the truth. And a lot of people hate to hear this. After I was taken off the show, the ratings bombed. And I'm not saying that's because of me. I'm just saying it's because of me.
I can read between the lines there.
Like when you drop 275,000 viewers in 1 week.
Wow.
Especially on cable TV. That's
Yeah, I mean, we weren't big. And then I went and I produced a show for the Chiller Channel
yeah,
with Katrina Weidman.
I love Katrina.
Yeah, it was a great show. We did 2 of those. There were 2-hour specials. We went after Mothman. We went after the Jersey Devil. We did everything. And here's the problem. Look, legit doesn't sell.
No.
If you want the quote of the night, legit doesn't sell.
Proper ghost hunting's kind of boring.
That's the thing, That's
Especially
what the
Ross.
audience doesn't understand is
Mhm.
the fact that it's a lot of tedious work. It's a lot of sitting around in the dark waiting for something to happen, and it doesn't always happen.
And
Yeah.
that, Ross, you know what I'm talking about. Ghost hunting used to be sitting in a basement with a video camera and a
Mhm.
tape recorder for
Mhm.
8 hours.
Yep.
And then you went home and you felt miserable. And
Yep.
that was ghost hunting.
And then you had to spend 16 hours going back and
Going
listening
back
and watching
and
it.
listening to all that
Yeah.
so that you could hear 3 seconds. Sometimes you got something good and other times you got.
Yeah, this is my big beef with ghost hunting shows nowadays. I'm going to call out Kindred Spirits for it because I love you, Amy. I love you, Adam Berry. Don't get me wrong, I do. But
Sounds
the
like a
evidence
threesome.
you have been showing, we might do that if we bring in Ben Berry. But the thing that just drove me nuts is they've legitimized. Not necessarily them. This Ghost to Ghost Adventures and some of their shows. And they're making shit, quotes out of that fits the storyline. When it's obvious, if you watched it 2 seasons before, they never would have presented that, or like it didn't make sense. But now they're going, oh, it said it's Tim and he killed Jen.
Yep.
Stuff like that. I can't
You
believe
wanna
they're
know
doing
the
that
truth? If I told the absolute truth, you guys, your minds, except for Dave would be like, yeah, I kind of figured that. everyone else would be like, so that's how they do it. I know how they fake the evidence.
I know they
I-
fake it too. I've been behind the scenes. I've been on a
I
lot
know
of the
how they
shows.
do it. I know how, like, I know how they create EVPs, some of these shows.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I haven't
now
tried it.
I was gonna say now it's really easy because some of these ghost boxes that they're being handmade pick up walkie-talkie signals as well.
Mhm.
So now
Yeah.
you can have a buddy, a block away, listening in on the show, and then call in on the walkie-talkie to make up, a lot of the words coming through these boxes.
There was one show that is no longer on the air that did that constantly.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing that nonstop.
And to be honest, too, the investigators don't know that they're being manipulated a lot of times.
Well, because they need
It's
that
the
authentic
production company,
that's-
and
reaction.
it's
sometimes,
not true.
sometime.
It's not
no,
true,
it's true.
Ross.
Oh,
I'm
no.
telling you, they
Oh.
almost all know it.
Hmm.
I've talked to
I guess
them.
I wanted to give them a little more faith, but I guess
Well, I mean, the last time
Yeah, it's misplaced.
I gotta say, the last time I actually saw what looked like an authentic reaction to something that was obviously done by the producers was Ghosts of Morgan City. When in that season, towards the end of it, when they showed the lady walk across the ghost, the full-bodied walk across, and everyone freaked out. I'm like, that would be hard to fake and make it look real like that. But I'm sure producers are doing things like that and not telling the cast to get that authentic reaction. But that's the last time I saw something where I'm like, I bet the investigators really believe that. It's hodunk.
I mean, and that's what was so tough about GHI is we would get some evidence and be like, oh my God, that was amazing. Well, it's not amazing compared to some of these other shows that are like creating it. Like it was just mundane. We had a ghost that Paul Bradford, who was on GHI, he got a picture of. We didn't even know the story. Like they put it in afterwards, and they said there's a little girl sitting on the steps. Damn if there is not a picture of it was night vision, so it's purple, but it looks like a little girl like this.
Wow.
Sitting on the steps. That's amazing. Until you watch another show and they go, it's choking me.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite is Most Haunted. Most Haunted was notorious for that. Oh my God, the one. Do you remember when they got caught with the guy was being pulled up the steps, and you could see the rope that's actually pulling him up the steps?
Mm-hmm.
That was a funny one.
So
let's just say Most Haunted, when you find a script of what's going to happen on the show, probably not legit.
Yeah, I gotta say though, the UK is a bit different because if you're gonna do recreations, like they divulge that this show contains recreations. In the US, they don't.
No.
Because Morgan City and Shepherdstown were recreations based off local. At least the first season of Shepherdstown was. Yep. Second season kind of jumped the shark. But the first season and Morgan City, those were recreations. They didn't tell anyone, but if you I read the interviews with some of the people I thought were like legit members of the community were actually actors brought in. Like the archivist library in Morgan City. She was an actress. And she said, these are recreations. They did no disclaimer up front about that. I had so many people on Ghostly bitching that they kind of duped us.
That was Nick Groff?
That was no, for Morgan City was Ben Hansen. Shepherdstown was Nick Groff.
Season 2.
So yeah, they kind of Nick Groff was season 1 and 2, and then they moved to Morgan City in Louisiana.
Okay. Yeah, no, I there's a show out there. I don't care at this point. It's Angry Ghost Hunter show.
Have at it.
Have any of you, And Mike Merle, I swear, if you don't talk, I'm gonna come through the
Yeah.
screen and pull you through.
We know you got
listen,
thoughts.
I've been
You got
putting in
thoughts.
words. I've been sound bites like a rap song.
I dance Merlesque. You can see him at the polls. and-
Yeah, he was at the speaker. I have a fireplace. Do you guys?
Warm. There's something warm on my back. Not spicy.
Not a ghost.
It's not the fire.
It's a little LED in the background, people.
Did anyone see a TV pilot? I'm not going to name names on this one. Anyone see a TV pilot where they captured a ghost in a jug and said, "Now what do we do with it?" And they threw an M80 into the jug and blew it up.
Just
So
sounds
Isn't it
like
like some
stuff from
hillbilly
This
ghost
is like
hunters.
Tennessee Wraith Chasers stuff, Haunted Live and Haunted Towns. Oh, because they've got the contraption where you can put the ghost in it and everything like that.
That's what I've been building. Right now I made this.
What you got a tin cap? What you got the tin man?
Oh, and that attracts the ghost right to your head, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is it's going to be a lot better for us when the field thins out.
I agree. I always thought it would get better once the shows stop.
Yeah, but the shows keep coming.
They do,
Shows
and
Well,
they keep
here's
getting, and
what
they get worse
happens.
and worse and worse. That's the
So-
thing.
But you get
They're so
about
stupid.
an 8-year turnover.
So speaking from Canada, before we got Discovery Plus up here, I think Rob, you were up here before Discovery Plus. There were like 3 or 4 ghost hunting shows, maybe, and then Discovery Plus rolls around, and I'm like, what the actual F is this? All of these different ghost hunting shows, like we're talking about the Wraith people and all of that stuff. It's you take the
there
little
was
amount we see up
Ghost
here,
Loop and Ghost
multiplied by like
Lab,
a million.
and Ghost
Too much.
whatever.
Ghost Brothers. Ghost Brothers is fun to watch, though. I take nothing they do seriously, but it's fun to watch. It's a
Okay,
very
but
fun
here's the
watch.
problem: is that some people, and I'm not knocking the guys from Ghost Brothers, but some people do take them seriously.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If your show has a catchphrase, "Let's pop the trunk on those ghosts," we've got a problem.
Yes.
Something is wrong. If I get going about ghost shows,
We need a part 2.
Yeah, we might have to do a part 2 on this one.
Yeah, I guess.
What are you doing next month, Rob?
Yeah.
I know. Wednesday, the last Wednesday.
Write that down.
Yeah, I should be COVID free, hopefully by then. But I hate to name names because here's why. Because some of these people do not care about the paranormal.
Right.
They just want to be on
I know a
TV
few of the big
and-
names out there that don't even
clout.
believe it. I can name some names of some people that have had shows of paranormal listed as experts in the paranormal and don't even believe in the paranormal. It was just all a show for them.
There are some very prominent people who are not or who quit the paranormal, which I'm always confused about. Like, if you're in the paranormal, you're kind of in the paranormal. Like, you don't have a choice. But there are some people that have quit the paranormal 7 times, and then when they want a paycheck,
They're
they're
back.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. I know a few of those names too.
Oh yeah, show the
Or
puppy.
when-
He's
or
got
when
a
they-
puppy
There you
behind
Or
you
when they
too.
got caught faking stuff. that
That
was
doesn't
a
stop
thing.
that Huff guy, dude.
No, he doesn't. It doesn't. He's like, I'm done. I'm just
Just
done
wait,
with
Rob.
this.
You got
And
2
then-
dogs. You showed one. What's the other one behind you? You got to show the puppies if you got the puppies.
Oh, the pit bull? I think
You
the pit bull just ran out.
Okay.
Come here, pit bull. This
So
is Nessie and Champy.
I love the names. I
So
love a
I
good
We're
cryptid
idiots.
reference.
Gentlemen, we only got a minute, right?
Oh yeah, we're
We
down
only
to a
got 1
minute.
minute left.
Part
Tonight
Let's
two.
get the hate on. Let's get the hate on.
We got to do this
Okay,
again.
oh,
this
1
went
minute?
real quick. Yeah, this
Yeah,
went by
no,
really quick. We got to do it
I
again.
just wanted to let everyone know, check out my new show, I Have No Viewers. That's really doing well. It had 2 people last week. My podcast called Why Am I Doing This? Nobody watches or listens. All
It's obviously
very
doing well if
popular.
that's the case. Isn't that what you want?
Yeah. So I will let you guys do your spiel on the out.
All right. Thank you so much for another edition of Angry Ghost Hunter tonight. Robb Demarest, thank you for being our special guest. Jacob Rice, MERLE, and the angriest ghost hunter of them all, Ross Allison. Thank you so much. We will be back next month with another edition of the Angry Ghost Hunter, and that will be on March 30th is when we return. So stay tuned. Spaced Out Radio is next in about 1 hour's time. But thank you all for tuning in for the Angry Ghost Hunter tonight. Take care. Stay spooky, everyone.